Hello everybody and welcome to our first class. Now I see a lot of friendly faces out there, so before we jump into our curriculum, why don't we go around the room and introduce ourselves. Please say your first name, an adjective that begins with the same letter as your first name, and a little bit about yourself. Oh no, not this again. Hello, super friends! If you're anything like me, you know the situation that you just watched is all too prevalent in all sorts of situations in everyday life, especially if you're in school. And if you're really like me, that can be one of the most panic-inducing moments of the whole course. Thankfully, I've pre-planned enough that I just usually use awesome for my adjective in all of these kind of situations, but the second half still really trips me up. How am I supposed to sum up my entire existence into one 5-second briefing? If I'm not careful, Anxious Annie might spit out something like this. Hi there. My name is Anxious Annie. Awesome Annie, and I am a mostly Caucasian female woman. I am 27 years old, and I am 5'5" tall. Oh, that's very factual. Next person, please. As a writer, I've always been deeply curious about all sorts of different lifestyles. When I was growing up, I wasn't sure what I wanted to be because I wanted to be everything. I wanted to be a veterinarian. I wanted to be an astronaut. I wanted to be a scientist. I wanted to be a superhero, a musician, a movie director. I did my research into each of these different professions, and I tried to imagine what it would be like to do it myself. And as a writer, all of those instincts have still stuck with me, and in some ways I still have those imaginary Annies up in my head that I can tap into whenever I want. Hello, Houston, excuse me, I mean class. My name is Annie, awesome Annie, that is, and I am an aeronautics analyst and all-around awesome astronaut. You may applaud. Yes, I am amazing. Thankfully, this has served me really well in my writing. It's all too easy for me to just step into and out of whatever characters I'm working with. I can really get into their heads and imagine what course of action they might take, even if they're radically different than myself. But that does become a problem sometimes. When I suspend my sense of reality for too long, I start to question myself. Who am I? Which one of these many elements of myself is just something I made up? And which one is really the original me? For a long time before I dedicated myself to becoming a full-time author, I never even thought about saying that I wanted to be a writer in any of these situations. I thought that writing was one of those things that only the rare, uber-talented people could make a living out of. You either made millions on your first manuscript, or you ended up being a washed-up wannabe that nobody wants to talk to. I thought that there was no real in-between phase, and I wasn't willing to take the risk that I wasn't one of those wannabes. Because of that misconception, I spent a lot of time trying to be a bunch of different things before I became who I am today, and they didn't fit me at all. Hello everyone, my name is Dr. Annie, or at least it will be once I graduate med school. Wait a moment, aren't you the one who passed out when klutzy Kevin over here decided to scrape his knee on the way inside? How can you be a medical doctor if you can't stand the sight of blood? Well, and that is a true fact. At one point in my life, I honestly thought I wanted to become a physician. See, the problem is everyone says that you can be whatever you want to be. And that's great. It's good to have the whole world of opportunities available for you. Given the right circumstances, I do believe you could be anything. But would you be anything? As I said in my last video, God created you with a very unique set of character traits. We were each designed as a specific part of his plan. Sure, God can use any of us to do anything. A better catchphrase that I like is, God doesn't call the prepared, he prepares the called. That means that he can prepare anyone to do any part of his plan that he wants. But practically speaking, he gave us specific tools to be able to do specific things. He gave each of us a unique set of spiritual gifts, physical traits, socioeconomic background, family background, all of this kind of thing, so that we could do something specifically awesome with our lives. Hello, my name is Awesome Annie, and I am a Christian artist. Very well, nice to meet you, Annie. Whew! That was a big challenge to be able to say that, but I feel so much better that I'm able to do so. See, when you can live out what God has made you to do, it is undeniably the best thing ever, because you're doing what you were meant to do. You might not be able to do it all the time, and you may not even know what it is yet, but when you do, you'll know true joy. If you're still searching for what it means to live out your true God-given self in life, I have a little bit of advice for you. Number 1, keep trying new things. You never know what's gonna jump out at you until you give it a fair shot. Number 2, ask your friends and family what they think you like to do. I know it seems like a silly question, but sometimes we just need that little bit of outside perspective to see a bigger picture. I know I do. Thanks, Mom! Number 3, try to look for patterns in your past. What sort of things do you naturally gravitate toward? What do you find yourself doing a lot of, if given the opportunity? What do you always enjoy, no matter how good or bad you are at it? Chances are, God has already been preparing you for awesomeness. You just might not be able to see it yet.